Okay, so we're going to be starting 5.1. Your ICANN today is identify parallel and perpendicular lines, identify angle relationships formed by intersecting lines, calculate the measure of an angle using angle relationships. So our first are some vocabulary. Parallel lines, they're going to be the lines in the same plane that never intersect or cross. Perpendicular lines, two lines that intersect to form right or 90-degree angles. And then a transversal is a line that intersects two or more other lines. A few more vocabulary words. Angle relationships formed by a transversal intersecting two parallel lines. So the nice thing about if you have two lines that are parallel and you have a line that intersects them, like this one, L, line L is the transversal. And certain angles will have a certain type of relationship, and you can tell that or infer that or draw the conclusion of that, and then you can tell certain information from that. Okay, so interior angles are angles between the parallel lines. So my two parallel lines are my two with the red triangle here, right? So the ones that are interior angles are inside them. Exterior are going to be on the outside of them, right? So angles between the parallel lines, angles. So this right here means angle. If you ever see, it's like it's more of an L. This looks like a less than sign. It's supposed to be more closer to an L, so meaning it's a little bit more, but it's angle 3, 4, 5, and 6. Alternate interior angles are going to be interior angles that are alternate. So on either side, opposite sides. Interior angles that are on opposite sides of the transversal. So 3, 5, those are alternate interior. 4, 6 are alternate interior. Okay? They are going to be congruent. So if 3 was, say, 36 degrees, the angle 36 degrees, angle 5 would also be 36 degrees. Make sense? Any questions? Okay. Okay, exterior angles are going to be on the outside. On the outside of my two parallel lines. So exterior angles are going to be on the outside. This right here, like I said, this is angle 1. It looks like a less than sign. That's just rotated just a bit. So angle 1, 2, 7, and 8 are all exterior angles. Well, then we have alternate exterior angles. So exterior angles that lie on the opposite side of the transversal. So 7 and 1, those two would be a pair of alternate exterior angles. Alternate means opposite sides, and then exterior on the outside of the parallel line. Then we would have another pair. Let's do pink. So we have 8 and 2. Is this in your notes? Or did I skip a page? Okay. 2 and 8 would be another pair of alternate exterior. And the thing about alternate exterior angles is they are, again, congruent. And congruent means equal. So they have, if this is 110, this one is 110. Okay? Corresponding angles. So if I think about this as 1, 2, 3, 4, I started in the top left corner and I go clockwise, right? We'll start in the top left corner here, so it would be 5, 6, 7, 8. The ones that are in the same relative position are going to be corresponding angles. So 1 and 5 are going to be corresponding angles. Maybe, should I draw a different highlighter? Highlight them. Okay, what's another pair of corresponding angles. They're in that same relative position. So if I start here, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So what's the second one in this one? 6. So 2 and 6 would be corresponding angles. 4 and 8, 3 and 7. So those are all pairs of corresponding angles. Corresponding angles in the same position on the two parallel lines in the relation to the transversal. Those ones are also, what do you think? Congruent. They're also equal. So if 1 is, or 2 is 110 degrees, 6 is also 110 degrees. So that's the measure of the from here to here, right? Oh, I covered up 6. But from here to here, it would also be 110 degrees. Whenever I talk about degrees, I want to make sure to write that little degree sign, right? If I'm talking about the angle, so angle 5, I want to write angle 5. All right, some more vocabulary. These, I believe, are not in your books, but, oh, they are? Okay. Vertical angles. Vertical angles are angles formed from two intersecting lines that are straight across from each other when the two lines are intersecting. Now, this line is, this is one line. Let me get a different color. And this is one line. That's supposed to be. Now, 1 and 3 are going to be vertical angles. Same with 2 and 4. Well, a lot of the times they'll try and mess you up and they'll throw just a random line coming out of one side going here. Our 2 and 4, if 2 is from this red line to this blue line, and 4, vertical angles still. No, they are not. 2 and 4 would not be if I have this red line in here. Because if you think about from here to here, it goes from blue to pink, right? You have to have the same line on either side. And this one, if you're standing in here or whatever you want to, however you want to, this is blue and this is red. You do not have the same color. Okay? Let me get back to here. Vertical lines, vertical angles are not going to be next to each other. They are not next to each other, and they are also going to be congruent. So 1 and 3 are congruent or equal. Okay, supplementary angles. Supplementary, I want you to remember sup. And if you go like this, and you say sup with your hands, sup. Do you see my arm? It's a straight line, right? A straight line is 180 degrees. So when I say sup, my arm creates a straight line. So that's how I'm going to remember. It's 180 degrees. So when I have supplementary angles, they're two angles whose sum, or when added together, equals what? What do you think? 180 degrees. 180 degrees. Okay, complementary. This word I want you to think of come here. And I want you to make that motion. Come here. Where my elbow is now creating a right angle right here, right? Right, correct? Okay, come here. This will help you remember that it's going to be a right angle. It's two angles that when added together equal 90. Oh, it's right here. Okay, so 4 plus 5 is going to equal 90. No. Classifying each pair of angles in the figure as alternate interior, alternate exterior, or corresponding. So 4 and 6, highlight 4 and 6. I need to think about that as, are they on opposite sides of my transversal? So here are my two parallel lines, so this has got to be the transversal. They're on alternate sides, so they'd be alternate. And are they inside my line, my parallel lines, or are they on the outside? Well, they're inside, so it would be interior. Interior. I think I spelled that wrong. Okay? So they're opposite, they're inside, so they're alternate interior. Okay? Then 2 and 6. So we'll do 2 and then 6. Well, 1 is on the outside of my parallel lines. This one is in the inside. They're on the same side of the transversal, so they're not going to be opposite, right? They're both, if I had these 1, 2, 3, 4, they're both in the top right corner, right? So they're going to be what? Corresponding. Okay? They're both in the top right. And then my last one, 1 and 7. They are both on the outside of my parallel lines. They're on opposite sides of my transversal, so they're going to be alternate exterior angles. This is where in this chapter, those vocabulary, you just have to kind of get used to figuring out or remembering what those words are. And a lot of those words have alternate. Alternate means opposite, so opposite sides. You kind of figure it out from there. All right. Okay, this. Wait, can you wait till those two girls get back? Oh, sure. Okay, your assignment is going to be. Let me write it down on here. Page 375, 1 through 2. Okay, you have the rest of the period, almost half an hour to work on these problems.